Have you ever heard of the lost continent of Zealandia? It's a massive landmass, almost two-thirds the size of Australia, that sank beneath the Pacific Ocean millions of years ago. Today, only a few fragments remain above sea level, and New Zealand is the most prominent among them. That's where this journey begins. After a short flight from Fiji, I landed in Auckland, New Zealand's largest city. Navigating out of the airport, I quickly realized that driving on the left side of the road with a right-hand drive car was going to take some getting used to. Every turn felt like a mental puzzle. But after a cautious hour and a half, I made it to Hamilton, our first overnight stop. Hamilton is a charming city nestled along the Waikato River, about 125 kilometers south of Auckland. It's New Zealand's fourth largest city, known for its agricultural roots, vibrant academic scene, and lush green spaces. After checking in, I grabbed dinner and stocked up on road trip essentials at the local PAK'nSAVE. Then it was time to crash and recharge. The next morning, we kicked things off with a visit to Hamilton Gardens. This isn't your average botanical garden. It's a world of themed landscapes, each one transporting you to a different time and place. From the symmetry of the Italian Renaissance to the tranquility of the Japanese garden, every section is a work of art. There's even a traditional Maori garden and a tropical jungle zone. Our next destination, Hobbiton. Located near the town of Matamata, Hobbiton is the real-life movie set from The Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogies. Rolling green hills, round doors, and cozy hobbit holes. It's all still there, just as it appeared on screen. What started as a temporary film set has become a permanent pilgrimage site for Tolkien fans from around the world. We arrived early and managed to join an earlier tour group, giving us more time later in the day. The tour took us through iconic spots like Bag End, the Green Dragon Inn, and the mill by the Stone Bridge. Every hobbit hole is lovingly detailed, with tiny props and gardens that make it feel like the residents just stepped out for breakfast. The tour ends at the Green Dragon, where you can enjoy a pint of specially brewed ale or ginger beer. It's a magical experience. Even if you're not a die-hard fan, it's hard not to be charmed by the whimsy of it all. The landscape around Hobbiton reminded me of the Scottish Highlands, but with better weather. We were lucky. The forecast had predicted a week of rain, but the skies stayed clear and blue. From there, we drove another hour to Rotorua, famous for its geothermal wonders and rich Maori culture. We checked into our hotel, dropped off our bags, and got ready for the evening's highlight, a cultural experience at Mitai Maori Village. Mitai offers one of the most authentic and affordable Maori cultural shows in Rotorua. The evening began with a traditional welcome ceremony, followed by powerful haka performances, storytelling, and a feast cooked in a traditional earth oven, called a hangi. The food was smoky, tender, and delicious. After dinner, we followed a guide into the forest to see glowworms twinkling in the darkness like stars. It was a magical end to a day filled with fantasy, culture, and natural beauty. Waking up in Rotorua, I knew we couldn't leave without exploring more of this geothermal wonderland. After checking out of the hotel, we headed to the lake, only to discover it wasn't just any lake. Rotorua Lake is a geothermal lake, steaming with heat and surrounded by the unmistakable scent of sulfur. The view was surreal, but the swarm of bugs outside the car quickly convinced us to move on. Next stop, Quiro Park. This free public park in the heart of Rotorua offers a front row seat to bubbling mud pools, steaming vents, and natural hot springs. You don't need to drive out to the countryside. Geothermal magic is right here in the city. There's even a foot-soaking pool where you can relax after wandering the wooden boardwalks through the mist. I even spotted a wild kiwi here. From there, we hit the road toward Taupo, with several geological stops along the way. First up, Lady Knox Geyser. I was expecting something like Old Faithful in Yellowstone, nature's clockwork spectacle. But it turns out this geyser needs a little help. Every morning at 10:15, a guide adds soap to trigger the eruption. It's dramatic, sure, but a bit of a letdown when you realize it's not entirely natural. Perhaps, the eruption accompanied by the guide's Maori song might have made it seem a bit holy and enlightened.
We currently sit at around 10 active geysers, with Lady Knox being one of them. So Lady Knox is still an active geyser, meaning she does go off on her own. Her time frame is once every 24 to 48 hours. But just so you guys don't have to sit and wait that long, we do this so you do have the opportunity of seeing her in action.
To make up for it, we hiked Rainbow Mountain. The trail is about 5 kilometers round trip, winding through colorful mineral-streaked hills and steaming vents. The climb is steep but rewarding. From the summit, you get sweeping views of Rotorua's lakes and volcanic terrain. It's a perfect blend of challenge and beauty. Then came one of the highlights of the day, Waimangu Volcanic Valley. This is the world's youngest geothermal system, born from a massive eruption in 1886. The walking trails here take you past Frying Pan Lake, steaming craters, and vividly colored pools. It's like stepping into a prehistoric world, raw, powerful, and strangely peaceful. Along the way, we spotted dozens of pukiko, a vibrant purple swamp hen with red beaks and long legs. For a moment, I thought I'd finally seen a kiwi bird. Turns out I was wrong, but they were still a delight to watch. To unwind after all the hiking, we headed to Waikite Valley Hot Pools. These natural thermal pools are fed by one of New Zealand's largest visible hot springs. The water is rich in minerals and ranges from warm to piping hot. Soaking in the outdoor pools while surrounded by forested hills was the perfect way to end the day. We reached Taupo just before sunset and grabbed dinner at the town's famous McDonald's. Yes, the one with a real airplane parked outside. It's quirky, it's iconic, and it's surprisingly fun. You can even sit inside the plane to eat your burger. The next morning, we visited Araciatia Rapids. At scheduled times, the dam releases water into a narrow gorge, transforming a calm stream into a roaring torrent. It's a spectacular sight, and if it looks familiar, that's because it was featured in the Hobbit films. Next up, craters of the moon. This geothermal field feels like another planet, with steaming vents, bubbling mud, and scorched earth. Walking through the misty landscape, you half expect to see astronauts or aliens. It's eerie, beautiful, and totally unforgettable. Then we arrived at Hooka Falls. Over 2,500 cubic meters of water rush through the narrow gorge every second, crashing down in a thunderous cascade. After lunch, we drove toward Tongariro National Park. Though we didn't tackle the famous alpine crossing, we will be exploring some shorter trails and scenic viewpoints. The drive to the park itself was stunning, winding roads with Lake Taupo on one side and snow-capped volcanoes on the other. It reminded me of California's Highway 1 or the coastal roads of Oregon. By mid-afternoon, we had to hit the road again. Our next stay was near Egmont National Park, about a 3 to 4 hour drive away. Google Maps led us through endless rolling hills, and while the distance wasn't huge, the terrain made it feel much longer. Just before sunset, we arrived. The view was breathtaking, Mount Egmont silhouetted against a glowing red sky, shrouded in mist like a scene from a fantasy novel. I didn't get a photo, but the memory is etched in my mind and AI was able to help me recreate it. The next morning, I let myself sleep in. After days of early starts and long drives, I needed it. Plus, the mountain was shrouded in thick fog, so there wasn't much to see anyway. Around 11 a.m., we finally set off for Egmont National Park. Mount Taranaki is a near-perfect volcanic cone, often compared to Japan's Mount Fuji. It's dramatic, snow-capped, and sacred to the Maori people. The trails were eerily quiet, the fog still lingering. It felt like walking through a dream, or maybe a horror movie set. Beautiful but haunting. With visibility still low, we decided to head to New Plymouth, the largest city in the Taranaki region. First stop, Brooklands Zoo. It's small, family-friendly, and best of all, free. Set within a lush park, it's a great place to unwind. We saw native birds, monkeys, and even a few exotic animals. It's not a major attraction, but it's charming in its own way. After lunch, we tackled Peridot Rock, a 150-meter volcanic outcrop that juts out near the coast. The first half of the climb is a staircase, but the second half? That's where things get real. You're scrambling up steep rock faces, gripping onto chains bolted into the stone. It's not for the faint of heart, but the view from the top is worth it. We rushed to Lake Mangamaho, a scenic spot known for its mirror-like reflections of the mountain. And there it was, Mount Taranaki in all its glory, snow-capped and majestic, perfectly mirrored in the still water. It looked so much like Mount Fuji, I had to remind myself I was still in New Zealand. The next morning, we hit the road early for Waitomo, with a quick detour to see the Three Sisters, 3 towering sea stacks along the coast. We arrived at low tide, which meant we could walk right out to them across the muddy flats. Shoes off, feet sinking into the cool, wet sand, it felt like a pilgrimage to nature's cathedral. By midday, we reached the Waitomo glowworm caves for one of the most magical experiences of the trip, blackwater rafting. Picture this, you're floating through an underground river in total darkness, the cave ceiling above you lit by thousands of tiny glowworms. It's like drifting through a galaxy. The guides were fantastic, blending humor with geology and biology lessons. We learned how the glowworms use their light to lure prey, and how these caves were formed over millions of years. After the tour, we changed into dry clothes and began the long drive back to Auckland. Along the way, we passed a giant kiwi bird sculpture, a fitting reminder of the national icon we thought still hadn't seen yet. Back in Auckland, we spent our time exploring the city. Viaduct Harbour was buzzing with life. We also stopped by a few cultural landmarks, St. Patrick's Cathedral, Auckland Town Hall, and the Auckland Art Gallery. Each place offered a glimpse into the city's history and creative spirit. Our last day started with Mount Eden, a dormant volcano and the highest natural point in Auckland. From the summit, we looked out over the city one last time. The crater below us was lush and green, a quiet reminder of the island's volcanic roots. Before heading to the airport, we made one final visit to the Auckland Zoo. I had one mission left, to see a real kiwi bird. And I did. In a darkened enclosure, I watched this shy, flightless creature shuffle through the underbrush, a perfect ending to a journey across the last visible edge of Zealandia.